Months since I have made a video. A lot has happened here in my life and also around the world, and I just want to do a little recap. I want to review. We're coming to the end of July and things are really getting ready to take off. Because we haven't had enough of that already. I really encourage you to go back and watch the videos that I made on New Year's Eve. I believe I made them on New Year's Eve of 2019, coming into 2020. Those were really last minute videos. I was not planning to make a year of predictions, predictions of 2020. I was not planning to make those videos at all. Those were really last minute videos that my guides asked me to do, and they have proven to be rather appropriate for what has transpired this year. So I encourage you to go back and watch those, and we're going to do a little bit of a recap today to catch up. So if you don't remember, I'll remind you, the 3 decks that I used were Earth Magic, Angel Gemstone, and Magical Messages from the Fairies. Now this deck was used for the theme. This deck was used for the messages from the higher dimensions, and this deck was used for the messages from this dimension, and they were all interacting together. So let's go ahead and get started. I pulled out the cards that we needed. I believe I did a video for March, and March talked about a new home, and I just wanted to touch on that a little bit as I set these out, because we're going to just review these a little bit. There's a little bit of a glare. Let's see if I can tip this a little bit here. March talked about a new home, and I wanted to review that a little bit. Not only was it talking about the fact that we were going to be going home and staying in our homes for a while, but it was also talking about how energetically we are moving into a new home, a new planet, a new shift. This is the big shift. When you read in the Bible about a new heaven and a new earth, or the New Jerusalem, or some groups talk about the event, or something like that, that is what we are experiencing right now. We are moving into this new home, this new existence, this new way of experiencing life and being part of life. Our place in it is shifting and changing as well. And as I said in one of the videos, the reading for the year, people don't usually like change all that much. It can be very disrupting, it can be very disorienting, it can be very confusing, it can be very distressing. And that is exactly where we are right now as we move into this new home. And so when we're talking about the month of April, we're just going to review. The theme for the months April, May, and June was strength. We were asked to draw our strength from nature, from the mountains, who were created through tumultuousness, especially the mountains near me, the Sierras. The Sierras are as a result of two tectonic plates bumping up against each other. And on the eastern side, you can see that there's some remnants of volcanoes. And so these places of refuge that we go to for solace, for clarity, for direction, were created out of fire, out of tension, out of conflict. So these mountains know what we are experiencing, not only because the earth is prescient, but the mountains have a wisdom from their experience that they offer to us, not only to be a source of strength for us, but to remind us that we are strength ourselves. We have strength within us that we might not have even known was available to us. And so that's the theme for April, May, and June, strength. Now, April, in the higher dimensions, the stone of aquamarine and the angel of emotional balance. Talking about I am able to identify my feelings and resolve unsettling emotions. My emotional body is awash with positive energy, and I enjoy a sense of balance. Safe travel over or on water is a certainty. And then the stones themselves. Are your emotions in turmoil? Are you feeling uneasy? Spend time at the water's edge to regain emotional balance. This is really clearly appropriate for what we were dealing with in April. There was so much uncertainty. We weren't sure if the country was closing down. Some people I know were out of the country when there were no-fly orders, and it was quite a task for them to return to the United States. And in the process of traveling, they actually contracted COVID-19 and had quite an ordeal dealing with that once they arrived back in the United States. So April was very tumultuous. Most people who are alive today were not alive in 1918 when there was the pandemic flu then. And so this is part of our challenge, is that we don't live long enough to have the perspective and the wisdom of our elders to guide us through things that they have been through. So because it has been so unusual for so many people to buckle down in that sense, the emotions have been running high, especially in April. People didn't know what to do. There was just no clear guidance. And then you talked about the children, the schools closing. And I know a lot of children and a lot of people, even young adults, have had a very difficult time adjusting to not being at school. Some kids have thrived not being at school. But some kids have not, and particularly those who were getting ready to graduate. It was a challenging realization to experience the last day of school without even knowing it was the last day of school, of not having your graduation plans happen and having to make new plans, and sometimes having to make plans multiple times for the graduation ceremonies. I do think this is a defining moment for this generation of children. Every generation has that defining moment. And I think this is this one. And as parents and teachers and those of us who work with children or who have children, it's really going to be up to us how we frame this for them. We can either let our emotions stay in turmoil, or we can be the mountain of strength for them through this. Because who they become in the future is going to depend on how we model a balanced perspective, balanced emotions, and being a source of strength for them. Now, what do I mean about balanced emotions? It does not mean that you don't go into a despair. It does not mean that you don't fall apart. It does not mean that you don't feel stressed. All of those things are very appropriate. What it means is you know how to pull yourself through those emotions back into a place of balance. All of those emotions are valid, and it's important to experience them. It's important to allow them to flow, and it's important for you to feel them fully and completely so that they can move out of your body and you can integrate the lesson and come back into a place of homeostasis, a place of balance for our children. Okay. That was April. This was May. Now, this has multiple meanings. And in the video that I recorded in December around May, I talk about making a vision board. That it's important to make that vision board at the opening of the year so that you know what you're looking for when opportunities come your way. So Pyrite is talking about, are you worried about money? Are you willing to accept prosperity into your life? You can earn unlimited income doing what you love to do. Use your skills, follow your dreams, have confidence, believe in yourself and your ability to be successful. And the angel is the angel of entrepreneurship. I am prosperous and abundant in all my endeavors. I have limitless potential, and I fulfill my highest purpose. I naturally attract whatever I need to be joyfully successful. I earn unlimited income doing what I love. Now, as I said in the video in December, this is talking about more than just money. This is talking about resources. And that is going to be really, really important to emphasize, not only for the month of May, but for moving forward, because where we are right now, we're going to stay in shutdown probably until the rest of the year, unless people get on board with wearing masks and social distancing. So we're going to have to become more creative in how we bring in an income and use all of our resources. Money is just one resource. Time is a resource. Creativity is a resource. Other abilities are resources that we can use. Compassion is a resource. So finding a way to use these gifts that we have in new ways. that we hadn't thought about is going to be important. And it was important in May, and it's going to be important moving forward as well. Now, this winter talks about going within. Now, it also, in the video that I recorded in December, talked about how this also reflects back to the month of January. And it does, because the reason this is happening is because of the virus that we became aware of in January of this year. But it also refers to going within, because winter is the time of the sacred feminine, and it is the time to go deep inside yourself and to have stillness, so that you can receive wisdom and clarity that you need to accomplish this, to access this and bring it into this dimension. And it takes strength to do that. It takes a determination of emotional strength to accomplish this. And as we saw, May was rather challenging in that regard. Okay, so then June is here. We're talking about the clarity. When you go into stillness, you find your clarity. And that's what a lot of people were searching for in June, was this clarity. When you go within, when you go into nature, you find that clarity. And I find it really interesting that this quartz crystal is reflected here. Crystals really do transmute energy, especially negative energy or draining energy. And right now there's, in June, and we're coming to the end of July, we really were dealing with a lot of negative energy because of George Floyd. Now, let me get clear on this. This energy has always been here. This is not new energy. It has always been here. But this is bringing clarity to the issues that we are experiencing in this country around racism in particular. That's what this is talking about, is revealing these issues so that we can transmute them with these crystals, because that's what it's time for. We're not supposed to get mired in the dark energy. We're not supposed to get pulled down into the heaviness of this energy. We're supposed to transmute it, which means we need tools like crystals to help us do that. It doesn't mean that we walk away. It doesn't mean that we ignore it. We have to be in it. We have to be in it. This is our responsibility. This is our job. This is why we are here, is to make this shift, to make this change. But we can't let it pull us out of balance. We have to find the strength, and we need to find the tools that we need in order to accomplish this transmutation of this dark energy into something that is based in justice, love, compassion, self-empowerment, and personal responsibility. Going outside, moving your body, spending time in nature, and working with tools, whether it's crystals, whether it's water, whether it's salt, whether it's a therapist, whether it's Skyping with your best friend, whatever it is that you need to do to get clarity and groundedness into yourself, to access this inner strength. That is what we're being asked to do. We don't get stronger by avoiding challenges. A boat was not meant to stay in the harbor. A tree is not meant to be sheltered from the wind. We become stronger when we are challenged by the forces around us. And that is what June is all about, is revealing these challenges to us so that we can deepen our strength and our commitment to what we believe in and what is important to us and where we are going. Okay, so here we go. That was June, April, May, and June. So now we're going to go into the next months. Where did those cards go? Here we go. So the theme is the shaman, the ancient healing wisdom. And July above was talking about, are people around you suddenly changing their tune? Have you decided it's time to change yours? Do you need to be more flexible? Stalk yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Observe yourself and those around you. And the angel of flexibility, I bend and flex with the flow of life around me. There is no resistance, only willingness. Now this is reflecting back to don't run away from the challenges, because the challenges are what allow us to bend and flow so that we can access this to support the evolving of the planet. And then be yourself. Now, I really love that this is a unicorn, because to me, this is really speaking about the magic of this time. And it does not feel like it. I understand it does not feel like it. It feels like every day a million things have happened and you don't know how to keep up. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to handle it. And it's all overwhelming, and it's just crisis mode after crisis mode after crisis mode. And so trusting in the magic of this is going to be important. And I'm hearing that we need to remember that we're not alone in this. I'm seeing this like a knife, like in the tarot, the Ace of Swords, just cutting through the darkness, cutting through the shit, cutting through the crap with light. And we're being carried along. It's almost as though that's exactly what's happening. We don't have a choice in this. We have to deal with this. We have to go through this. And we are being carried through it. But we're not alone. Look at this. We are light. Look at the light, the brightness of her face and in her heart. And then look at the brightness here and in the horse leading the way. We're not alone in shining our brightness. We all have help. Now, something that is really sticking out to me here that I want to say is I have been learning a lot around the Black Lives Matter movement, which to me is very different from the organization, the movement. And I have been working with them in different capacities because it's necessary. And one of the things that I have realized that I think we all have, that if we've been paying attention have realized, is the Karen movement. The Karen aspect of a white woman sabotaging people of color, especially black men, and in the process putting their lives in danger unnecessarily. an abuse, and it's an abuse of power. And that really struck home to me, not in the sense that it's something that I have done, but in the sense that I am also a white woman, and therefore I must be an antidote to the white women who are doing this. And so this has really struck me to see a white woman on this horse leading the way, because Black women have been speaking out against these injustices for hundreds of years, and nobody has listened to them, particularly white women. And white women tend to be the people who support Republican candidates and oppression most. And so it's going to be up to us to start changing the tide. And I have to say that I have been very excited to see the wall of moms. I think that is part of this. That's where a shift and change of tides is happening, is for white women to stand up for what is right. Leave your comfortable little spaces in suburbia or in your loft apartments in the city, and be willing to stand up and speak out and be seen and be heard. Change your tune. People around you, people around me, we're all changing our tune. I have dramatically changed my tune. It's become very clear to me what my purpose is and where I'm going and what I want to accomplish and who I'm willing to spend my time with and who I am not willing to spend my time with. And before, I used to spend a lot of energy agonizing over a loss of a relationship, over a loss of a friendship, over difficulties I might have had with another person if I wanted to change my direction. And this time I don't. And it's not that it doesn't matter to me. It does matter to me. But this matters to me more. So much more that I don't have the inclination or the time or the energy to mourn over the loss of any relationships. I'm moving forward, and I'm moving forward quickly because there's a sense of urgency that this work needs to be done, and it needs to happen quickly. Because if it doesn't happen quickly, we could really be in a world of hurt come November, because we cannot have this president be around for another 4 years. We just can't. So there is an urgency to get this done. And we have to trust. We have to trust on our intuition. We have to trust on our ancestors and their wisdom. Even if they're not here in this dimension, they are still around us. We can still access them and their wisdom and their experience. That is what this is here for. Earlier in this video, I talked about how it's a shame that people aren't living long enough for us to access those memories and that wisdom when they went through something similar to what we're going through now. We can still do that. We still have to get calm. We still have to go deep within to access this information and this wisdom, but we can still do it. And it's vitally important that we do, because this is going to help us move forward with this light in this urgent way that we must do now. So this was July. Tomorrow is the last day of July. So let's look at what August is talking about. Okay, August is talking about obsidian. This is up high. Black obsidian, man, this stone, if you've ever worked with it, it's really intense. It really is very grounding, and it is also, it clears stuff away. And so it says, have you been feeling scattered lately? Are you unable to focus on what is important? Look at all that is going on around you and prioritize. Focus on one thing at a time. Ground yourself so that you can accomplish your goals. So the angel of focus, I am focused and stay on track until a matter or situation is settled or complete. I accomplish what I set out to do. I pay attention and listen carefully. I am attentive to my own needs and the needs of others. Now, we can only do the needs of others after we meet our own needs first. So, we're talking about grounding. Now, the fastest way to ground is to eat food. And to eat food like chips and steak. And lots of cake. And while that might taste really good, it might not be the best way for our bodies to ground. Salt baths, sitting on the earth, holding black obsidian, and energetically grounding into your home planet and asking your body, Deva, to ground into earth and increase its magnetics to balance the energy, the electrical energy coming in. Those are all ways to accomplish this grounding. And it will in a sense allow you to slow down, because what is happening is, with all of this frenetic energy, we're getting caught up in the swirl of it. It's like we're in a washing machine that is cleaning all of the dirt, and we're surrounded with this swishing water and all of the muck, and we're getting caught up in all of that and are identifying with that rather than identifying with our divine line essence. So go deep into your divine line essence and identify with that, and it will bring your attention back into focus. It will bring yourself back into alignment, and in a sense, time will slow down so that you can evaluate and prioritize and know what needs to be done when. And that's what this is talking about. You have the power to use your abilities to resolve this situation. We can do this in August. We can do this. The world is shifting so quickly every single day. It's really astonishing to me. I never thought this could happen like this. And on the one hand, it's really exciting, and on the other hand, it's like, whoa, I don't know if I can handle anymore, because it's so intense. Do this, because it will allow us to find the power and find the strength and find the wisdom from our ancestors to keep going, to make the transitions that we need, to make the changes, to move forward, to speak up, to have the courage to do what we know we need to do. Because I know this is for September, but I just want to pop this in here. Look at the love. Look at the love. Your desire is within reach. September says, we're getting there. Do you need more sweetness in your life? Are you gentle with yourself and your words and your thoughts? Treat yourself with kindness. Cultivate loving friends, family, and environment. Be your own best friend, and the best friend you can be to others, which might not be a best friend relationship, but you can still be the best friend that you can possibly be to that person. Be your own best friend. And that's what's going on in August at this point in time. No, that was July. August is here. You've got the power. We've got the power. If we accomplish what we need to accomplish in August, this is what is awaiting us. Our desire is in reach. By September, we're looking at 2 months until the election, at which point, if Joe Biden is elected, they will start transitioning. So Joe Biden will now be in the White House transitioning and learning. His staff will be getting in there and learning how to take over so that there is a smooth transition. Now, that doesn't mean there's not going to be unrest and conflict. It just means that there will be more eyes on what's going on. So we've got August, September, and October. Before that happens, we have a lot to accomplish this month. Focus. Don't get distracted. Okay, so my guides are saying don't get distracted by the propaganda. And there is going to be an insane amount of propaganda. There already is. Question everything. Don't get distracted by propaganda. If it comes from Fox News, ignore it. If it comes from Breitbart, ignore it. Focus on where we're going. Focus on what we're trying to accomplish. We can do this. Now, if you have people who are willing to listen to reason and to facts, show them. But don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in angry conversations with people. Don't get caught up in the small stuff. Keep your focus, keep your eye focused on where we're headed, and put your effort into that, and don't let these little distractions pull us away, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to pull us away from where we're going and what we're trying to accomplish. And if we focus on where we're going, we will get there, because this is what September is looking like. Now, so far, the cards and the readings have been right on, so that I have no reason to think that we can't do this. We can't get here. We can get here. And that's what this is telling us. It feels like the muck, but we can do this. We can do this. Stay the course, people. Stay the course, light workers. We're almost there. I'm going to be doing more channeling. Moving forward, I'll be doing some readings, but I'm going to be doing some channeling. An intense, really powerful channeling came through last week, and so I am going to be recording that for all of you, and I'm going to be doing more channeling to help us stay encouraged. And I have a new setup so that I can do this more easily and more frequently, and hopefully have shorter videos that will mean that I can increase the videos to give us the strength and the courage and the encouragement that we need going forward. So I encourage you to be the amazing person and being that you are, because you are needed and you are valued and you are loved. And so with that, go in love, and I will talk to you again soon.